All right, look at the chart. 5-1-3, C major, second inversion triad. This is video 11 out of the first 12. We're gonna do this one. This is another 5-13, all in the keys C major. I made a playlist. You're gonna watch it because it's gonna help you more than anything in your guitar playing. In fact, I drive by my neighbor Bruce's house and he's always waving me over because he's a beginning guitar player and I've been showing him these. And he's like, oh, I got this light bulb moment. I see. They're the spine, the glue, the bones, whatever you want to call it, of music. These hold everything together, all right? So let's go over all the information on the chart. Then I'm going to give you a few playing frameworks. I want you to watch the playlist. And I made a chart or an ebook for every one, all right? Now, just to kind of clarify real fast, let's get this out of the way real quick. You see 5-1-3. You see the red one? That is the root note. So on the top left where it says the R or root note is the same thing as the 1. In this case, you're seeing the 1. There's a second page that has 5-R-3. It's the same exact thing. Believe it or not, the reason I put it on there is because people have been confused. They didn't understand the root is the 1. So we can get lost in the language of music. Now, look to the far left. You see how there's a red box? The Eddie box, because a shout out to my friend Eddie, who plays guitar like you. He said, you got to put a red box. It's like a reference point, so I call that the Eddie box. So there's an Eddie box around the DGB Stringset. Why? Because we're playing our triad, 5-1-3, on what string set? DGB. And again, this is number 11 out of 12. Then we're going to do all 12 minor triad shapes. Shapes is a big word. Look at this shape right here, okay? I'm barring right there on the 5th fret. We're going to talk about how these are made right after this, because this is really important. So second inversion, or 5-1-3. So a C major triad comes from where? On the bottom left of this chart, you'll see a triad is made of the 1st, 3rd, and 5th note of a major scale. Like the major scale is the blueprint for everything, all right? So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The first note is C, gotta take the right, gotta have the root or the 1. Third note out of the scale is E, and then the 5th note is G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5, C, E, G. So we're playing C, E, G, and in this case, we're inverting it by putting the G as the lowest fundamental note closest to your chin. All right, you following me so far? If you're confused, just drop a question. Leave a tip for somebody if you get all this stuff. And again, on the bottom left, I tell you that. Now, I also tell you, too, I think it's important to know. Let's get all the geeky theory stuff out of the way. There's a lot of theory geeks like me in here. 5 to the 1. See on the right side of the chart? It's kind of small. 5. It says R because R is the 1, right? That's a perfect 4th interval. Those two notes. What's an interval again? It's the distance between two notes. And then when you go from the root to the 3, or the 1 to the 3, that is a major third. So if you stack a perfect 4th on top of a major third, play them all 3, it's a second inversion triad, and this is on the DGB Stringset. Okay, you following me so far? And I've stayed consistent. Every ebook has this. In an ebook, it has 2 pages because, again, you have the 5-1-3, and the other page, everything's exactly the same, just to refresh here. But instead of a 1, I have an R, just so you can see that. But I always just call it a 5-13, okay? Now, one thing I think you got to see here, check this out. Let's just point this out. We'll get to some playing stuff. So you've got your C open chord here, right? This is kind of like home base. This is where all the beginners get taught. Then you've got a C5 power chord. So you've got C, remember the power chord shape? Like. So I want you to recognize this. I thought this was important to show you. So you've got C, okay? You've got G, there's your, and then you've got C. But in this case, look at right there. If you just play all 3 of these, there is that 5-13, or the focus of this particular lesson. Now, that's cool. Just wanted to point that out. But I think one thing you could do for playing is this. Play the open chord to this triad shape, but use your first finger, okay? And I want you to get really good at muting. See if you can mute out the E and A string with your thumb. And go from the open chord to the triad. Open chord to the triad. Okay, rhythm is king. I'm always gonna preach rhythm in every single lesson. Open chord, triad. Okay, now when you watch the playlist linked at the end, you're gonna start adding in all the other triad shapes, right? And again, remember this, one of the most important things is you need to understand when you're playing a 5-13, okay? on the DGB string set. The 1 is on the G string. Now, why do I have 2 red arrows there? What would that be for? Because what I really want you to take away from every single one of these triad lessons in the playlist is that you can move this to any key you want. As long as you know where the root note is, you can figure it out. So let's say you have no clue. Say you just know this is a C major, 2nd inversion triad, okay? And these are all just flavors. You choose what flavors you want. Yeah, some triads are way more useful than others. For me too. Okay? If I move it up here, and I'm like, okay, let's say I ask a beginner, well, what triad are you playing? They have no clue. I said, okay, just look at the G string, okay, because that's where the root note is, or the 1. And what note is that? And they're like, oh, that's D. So I said, you're playing a D major 2nd inversion triad, okay? So that's what you want. If I move it down here, same thing. They could be totally confused. I said they know the root note is here, and they know that that note is, what is that? B flat. So B flat, 2nd inversion triad, A sharp, however you look at it, okay? So in this case, C, okay? Now, what you want to do is start creating some playing exercises. So what I challenge you to do is watch some of the triad videos in the playlist and start linking some of those in there. So let's get the open chord to the triad. Open chord to the triad. Okay. Now, one thing about guitar that you got to connect, and I'll expand on this in lessons moving forward. You always want to have situational awareness of what is around where you are. So, okay, yeah, I'm playing that C major 2nd inversion triad. Now, to be honest, would I probably use this one to emphasize the C? I'm not sure, depends what I'm trying to do, but I also know there's an A minor pentatonic scale here. So again, just a playing framework for you to mess on, just another idea. Because in a minute, we're gonna get to, and I know you're all smart enough to get this, if I drop this ring finger down here on the 7th fret on the D string, I just changed that to an A minor triad. And I'm in the same string set, look, C 2nd inversion, A minor. Now, how could that be useful for something like this? And we haven't done the minor ones yet, but we're gonna get to them. So watch, C, A minor, C, A minor. Now, arpeggiate it too, pick it. To the A minor triad. I've done so many videos on those minor triads, but kind of look at this series as like your encyclopedia, your always go-to. Just get the ebooks. I really reorganized. I took a lot of time to put these together for you and organize the folder by string set to make it super easy. So let's spice it up even more. Now this is going beyond what we're showing here, but I'm just trying to show you the bigger picture. So I'm gonna create like a little progression. I'm gonna play a C bar chord up here. I'm going to use this C triad shape, and this is in the playlist, okay? Then I'll do a G bar chord to that G triad shape, and then I'll do A minor to this A minor shape. But then I'm going to, when I switch and I play the progression again, I'm going to go to the lesson we're doing in this C 2nd inversion. So watch. Here we go. Triad from the lesson. See that? Okay. Now one thing you could do too, what if I wanted to outline that progression? Instead of playing, I'll play the C in the lesson, and then we'll wrap this up, because I know you got it, okay? And if you don't, you'll ask questions. I'll help you. Somebody in here will help you. Team Jellyfish for the win, okay? C major 2nd inversion. Now how could I find the G? Okay, it's up here, okay? So why don't we go like this? C, G, to the A minor. One more time. C, slide up to G, same shape, A minor. Okay, so there you go. Now, one other cool thing you can do for a killer little rhythm thing just to cap off this lesson, cherry on top for you. See if you can get like a funk theme going like this. I want you to hit all the strings, even if you can't get it to sound like I'm gonna show you. This is good for your muting, right? Remember I say I get that thumb over and I'm gonna hit this triad shape in this lesson. Watch. Go real slow. Now if you can't get that funky one, just try to do downstairs. See, I'm hitting all the strings. Put some mojo in it. I just hit that triad shape, okay? You go to the minor. You can play like a little cool lick out of the A minor pentatonic like this. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to show you where we're trying to take this, and if you're not there yet, it's cool. And I have to keep playing and practicing like this every day too, because repetition, rhythm, repetition, rhythm, repetition, rhythm. So get rid of the pick. See if you can finger pick it. Do something cool with the triad like this. Get creative, okay? Pick the 5 and then hit the 1 and 3 with your pointer and middle finger on your strumming hand. So pick the root with your thumb. See if you can go with this. Maybe you've never ever done this, but today you will. That's a totally different vibe than shake. See how fun music gets? Just be creative and don't be afraid to fall off the tracks, but make sure you always roll back to keeping that tight rhythm. Shake, sorry. That's what real practice looks like. See, I'm just throwing other fingers around and making sounds. Delicious cupcakes for your tiny ears. All right, let's wrap it up. Get the chart below. Hit the like button. Got to keep growing this channel. Did a crazy fun live stream last night. Didn't really know what I was doing, but the people that came in, we had a blast. We're going to keep those going. Just drop some comments. What do you want to see? We got to keep growing this this legion of jellyfish we have on here. All right, you guys know what to do. Drop jellyfish or your favorite sea creature in the comments. Where are you watching from? What are you working on? Let's keep this train rolling. Grab the ebook, add the triads, and then we're just gonna keep building this out. I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace.